Everybody, we got Debbie on the line and we've got Erica on the line. This is Jody, Mom's on a Mission. Mom, we have a lot to talk about. We generally cover some hot topics. Thank you, Dawn Behind the Walls and Urban Talks, for allowing us to have a platform. We love your production ability and capabilities because then all we have to do is talk. Debbie, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Debbie, tell everybody who you're with.
I'm Debbie from CBI, Citizens Bureau of Investigation, and baby, we investigate. I'm done. I'm done.
Now, I understand that right now you are like super hot with complaint forms being filled out on your website. Your website's out there getting shared. People are starting to email you things, recordings, I understand. So you got a lot going on at CBI. Let us know and update us on how you're handling your load, what's being done, what are you hearing, what information are you getting, what complaints do you have?
Well, I have one complaint where I actually have it on audio on CBI of it was a sergeant trying to get an inmate to kill somebody. And the same sergeant went to another guy and tried him to do the same thing, and I've got it on our CBI website.
Oh, wow. So they came and found you through CBI website, uscbi.org, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Or they can email you at Debbie Sapp, DEBBYSAPP, at uscbi.org.
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure we put that out there because I understand that you're getting some, a lot of things going on. We're finding more and more what we thought could be happening is happening.
Yes, we have one woman who has her son was in confinement, and they were taking a mental, like, I don't know what you call it, like sheet metal, and they were tacking it to the window, and he was not getting any air circulated or anything like that.
In Florida?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes, and now we have contacted the IG. We contacted Julie Jones. We contacted a senator, and the gentleman is now, he has called his mother, and he is now in protective custody, and an investigation is going on.
Oh, thank God you were able to help get that pushed along.
Yes.
What's going on with Christopher right now? Is there any update with Gemma and her son?
The only update I have right now is on the 20th. Gemma is getting a special visit. I sent in a visitation form. I contacted the classification officer. When he gets it, he's going to rush it, and I'm going to go with Gemma to see Christopher.
Good.
And that will be
amen.
On the 20th. Yeah.
That's good news.
That's all we know on that end of that.
And he's still scheduled December 20th to get out, and no news on the early release yet?
No, nothing.
Okay, well, we'll keep that in our prayers. We also have a new person on the line, Erica from Lakeland, Florida. Tell us about yourself a little bit, Erica.
Yes, I am Erica Reddick. I am from Lakeland, Florida, Polk County. Yes. I have a son who is incarcerated at the age of 14 who has been given an extended life sentence, and he just got placed in confinement after retaliation that I just made upon the of awful complaint that I made on the guards. Now, they just put him in there with hot scalding water. He's in Calhoun, CI. And,
oh, my God, that's where that happened to my son. Same thing. Honest to God, Calhoun.
Yes, Calhoun, CI, and I'm fighting it right now. The warden just emailed me stating that they just checked the water, but I'm not going by that. They said he made a lewd act, and while he was on the phone with me, Mind you not, he's on the phone with me. But this happened 7 days later after I made the complaint. Okay? How are you going to do such thing when he's on the phone with me? But yet, I have 7 letters that came into me stating that this did not happen, that, gave me the names of the guards and the stuff that they, they like to fraternize with the inmates. And my son has been locked up almost 7 years and never, ever had this done to him, okay? Never had this done to him till I start making complaints. But guess what? I am not going to shut up. I'm going to continue this fight for him. I don't care.
Erica, can I give you a warning?
Yes, ma'am.
Because at Calhoun, I want you to understand that they surrounded me in that little intake room, when you get inside and you're in the very small 10 by 10 room right before you enter visitation. I had 8 guards that surrounded me and my daughters and had our backs against the door and wouldn't let us out.
Wow.
I feared for my life. I thought I was going to die in front of my daughters or be killed because I complained that the intake people all had me playing Simon Says whenever I attend a visitation. And, some guards allowed this, some guards allowed that, and then I was directed to what was on the wall, so I read the wall, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys aren't even following this, what am I supposed to go by? So they called the on-duty captain, and when he came down, they surrounded me, and I feared for my life, and it was bad. I can talk about it now. I for a long time, I never even discussed it. I've had to talk with my daughters. They have suffered severe consequences based on that day. That is something they will never forget, and they didn't deserve to be treated that way. I talked to the warden, and during a conversation with the warden, he specifically called the inmates animals and caught himself. That means he says that often. If he accidentally spoke to an inmate's mother and called all inmates animals and can't be trusted, that's your regular verbiage. So I just wanted to give you that forewarning based off the fact that I had to get my son the hell out of that prison. Too much retaliation there.
It is too much retaliation. And I'm reading an email that the warden just sent me. 2 of them now.
Which warden?
This is Robin Smith.
Okay.
What it is, come to find out, that warden is from the warden that she got fired from Franklin CI when they had that big riot. So now they done took this whole institution, this whole administration, she took them and brought them to Calhoun. But I'm hot on that trail. Do you hear me? I'm hot, and I'm going to do whatever I can.
She was fired from one prison, and now
she was fired from. Yes,
it was 2 men that were there were 2 men when my son was there a couple years ago.
No, it's Smith and it's Warden Kent Adams, and they all came from Franklin CI. She got fired from there and moved all the way and moved to Calhoun and brought her administration team. So that's where this is coming from. Yep, that's what they roll. And see, I bust their bubble when I said that. And see, when I heard
I know you did.
Oh, yeah. I already know. Listen, I'm not a fool. I keep in contact with those inmates. They don't, and see, I don't say, hey, I'm an advocate, I'm this, I'm that. I'm very low-key. You don't know what I know.
I know
and who I know.
Right. So what do you know, girl? Spill the tea.
Girl, listen, girl, I can't give you all the tea over this phone because we don't know who on this phone. This is some face-to-face business, baby.
Oh my! Okay, what can you share? What's your hot topic? Like you've got something that's just burning on the griddle right now. What is it?
I just want what's right for these. I'm gonna call them inmates because they are our sons and daughters.
Right.
I want them to be treated right, and like I still say and believe. About 75, a lot of them are in there for something that they did not do. A lot of these inmates are in there for something that they did not do. But because they didn't have the money and they couldn't pay for their freedom. But I'll be damned. Do you hear what I say? We're going to push this shit, all the way to the top. I don't care who we got to go to.
What was said, when they go low, we go what?
We go high. We're going to keep on going higher.
There
We're going to keep going higher, and that's what I'm willing to do. If I had to go out there and do it by myself, I'm going to do it. And I want justice for all, not justice for the white, not justice for the black, not justice for the Hispanic. It's justice for all. It's justice for all, because this is pathetic, because we're all going through it.
Exactly, pathetic. Though that's the word of the day, pathetic.
Yes. And how they in here treating these our loved ones like they're, because my son especially is in there for Sunday. They don't have no evidence on him. They tweak his DNA, and damn right I'm mad. I have a right to be mad and angry. But you know what? Me being angry is not going to help any. It's just going to make things work. So now I just got to use my other tactic, is just keep going higher. And that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Good way to put it. I have found that anger makes my chest hurt. So
it sure do. And
I've got to laugh at ignorance, because that's what it is. It's comedy in everything, of every systematic system I have seen created by who? Man. Man created these systems in this, what do you call it, convoluted malarkey.
That's what it is. And it's so sad. And it's so pathetic. But I can go on and on. I'm going to share this time with other folks. And then if I got time, I'll come back.
Yes, ma'am, Erica. No, you are just fine. You are not taking up too much time. You are keeping it real. Do we have any other callers on the line?
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Tasha.
Hi, Tasha. How are you? Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome.
Tasha, we're talking about hot topics today. Tell us where you're from and what's your hot topic.
This is Tasha Smith.
Where are you from, Mama?
I'm from Lakeland, Florida.
You're from Lakeland? Do you have a son or daughter or husband, family member incarcerated now, or were you previously incarcerated?
I have someone in my family that is, yes.
Okay. And did you call in with a topic to discuss, like a specific topic that's really heavy on your mind that you would like to bring out into the open and have a discussion?
I was calling in my friends with her, and I was, supporting it.
You're supporting. Well, we appreciate your support. Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of what's in the news. Well, what's in the news a lot are these kids. The children that are coming in, however they may be coming in, they end up in cages. Okay, you guys, I know that this is not our main topic, but this is a part of mass incarceration now because they've been caught up into it by no wrongdoing of their own. This exodus was said to be coming, and I remember when there was very little news on it, but you heard bits and pieces that there was an exodus of people coming, and they were going to be coming. And then in the news they were saying, no, they're not coming. They're not coming. I don't know if you guys heard the same news I did or read the same things I did, but I'm pretty sure that I read some fake news because now they're here. And now there are children missing. There are people scattered everywhere. We have no system really, and it's just total chaos. But when you got kids in cages, this has gone too far, especially when there are people that are fleeing for a humanitarian reason. They're leaving cruel and unusual punishment or really bad situations, and then they come here thinking that they're going to get amnesty, and then they come here, and where do they get put? I don't care if it's a chain link fence. These people are in cages. Mothers, fathers have committed suicide. So I just wanted to put out there, this has become a part of mass incarceration, and people need to know that. I'm not saying that you need to add on your plate and be a voice for them. I'm just saying let's just put them in the pot with us because they are now stuck into mass incarceration nation of USA right now. Money's being made. People are missing. Rapists have been discovered. There's been so much abuse on the women and children already. We don't even know all of the stories, but we could only imagine. So I want to keep them lifted in prayer and just say that we acknowledge them and we hear their cries, and we pray to God that something is done soon. Anybody else want to add to that? Debbie, you got anything to add?
I agree with you. It's only going to get worse. Even if you think about it this way, you know how I feel what's coming down. Riots are coming. If these people are put in cages like they are, what do you think is going to happen there, too? Are we really, really ready for mass death? Because that's what we're going to get.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's scary. We're in some scary times right now. I believe we're in some biblical times right now. I truly do. I believe that wholeheartedly, and my heart just aches for children. If I can take in, as many babies as I could take in, I'll take babies and toddlers, because Jesus Christ, these are babies and toddlers. Yeah, and then I'll try and find their mom.
They didn't ask to be born.
Right.
They didn't ask to be born. Why should they have to go through this?
Right.
I mean, I sort of kind of understand a few things, but not all of it. Yes, I understand.
And you know what? We should have been prepared. We should have been, if we knew there was a mass exodus, coming our way. Instead of trying to pretend like it wasn't coming, we should have prepared.
Yes.
So I know that we've got many different countries and many different places that are having, you're going to have trouble with any group. I don't care what label you put on a group, this group, that group, this organization, but still, that whole group is not bad. One bad apple truly does not spoil the whole bunch. You can get rid of the bad apples, and then the rest will be okay, as long as they're taken care of properly. It's hard. That's really hard for me.
It is.
Yeah.
It's hard for everybody.
And let's talk about the subject matter, pertaining to people like Christopher, the severely mentally having mental issues, whatever they may be. It could be schizophrenia, manic depression, bipolar, depression, survivor guilt. We've got so many different things out there, and then you've got post-traumatic stress disorder just based off of, being in confinement at any time while they're incarcerated, and to put those with really severe mental illnesses and deny them their medication, which is happening everywhere. Or given, for infection. I got a complaint, Debbie. Oh, my gosh. I didn't tell you. I got a complaint regarding infection. And that same woman's vaginal infection medication was given for an infection on a male. Another one.
Huh?
Yeah. So medication is bad. We know that they're given, not getting their medication or getting the wrong medication when you need an infection taken care of. You can't be given the wrong, if you need amoxicillin, you need amoxicillin. You don't need another form of, penicillin or whatever. It's just crazy. It's almost like they're changing recipes, like from butter to oil, and it's just not working.
Right.
Oh, my God.
You better stop and think that it's a money-making thing. And Rick Scott's wife owns a pharmaceutical company. Okay? Now, in prison, I've been told by quite a few people, take a couple Tylenol, you'll feel better.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those people that's taken Tylenol have already been in the hospital. Some of them already died. Some of them are so severely sick. And it's just getting worse. It's mind-blowing. It's totally, take some aspirin, take some Tylenol, you'll feel better. Now you're talking
ibuprofen, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about people laying on the floor and just screaming for help.
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Well, there was an incident here, I think, in Lakeland not too long ago. A young lady, I think she had high blood pressure, and she was incarcerated, and they was ignoring her sign of her having the high blood pressure or whatever her sign was. So they took her to the hospital. She didn't get no help for I don't know how long. But when she got to the hospital, she was dead.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I don't know why they was ignoring her signs for her pains or whatever was going on. And she was young. She was like less than 30 or under 30.
And this is the thing. You've got people with medical issues clear across the board from one spectrum to the other that are not getting the medical care and the health care that they need. They need that, and they're not getting it. And you've got individuals who are trained in a whole nother field, maintaining them on a daily basis, and you don't have the access that you need to, like going to the doctor's office. When they go, it's so slap packed and it's so busy, and then they're worried about money coming off of their books, and they're worried about putting a burden on the family. You got so many things thrown into the pot. Now you stir in a pot that just, it's like it's overflowing, and there's just no end in sight because you got the lowest bid of whoever is taking care of the Florida, and this is going in every state as I understand it. They're all having this. I understand. I think it was Arizona when we were talking to Melissa one time on the line. She mentioned that their governor or some senator or someone was very similar to our Rick Scott where it comes to being involved with the medical big pharma in some way where money is getting lined in pockets. So with that being said, just from Arizona to Florida, we know there's corruption and big pharma's involved in one way or another with politicians. It goes hand in hand. Erica, are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Do you have any comment on that?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm learning more knowledge as I go, so as I listen,
Absolutely.
It's really pathetic, It's everything revolves around money. I see even people's health as we speak. And
right.
It's like money is power, and they're not giving a dang on about what's going on. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. But until it happens to them, maybe that's when they'll wake up. But, my thing is God sits high and looks very low, and he don't sleep. That's all I'm going to say.
That's a good statement. That's a very good statement. I'll have to try and remember that one. I like that. So let's move on. I want to talk about the sergeant in a prison that we have been notified about, that sergeant that we discussed earlier. We've got recordings that have been sent in, and they're actually planning murders. You've got sergeants talking to individuals who are incarcerated and urging them to murder another incarcerated individual. They're giving them weapons, a knife in the situation, and doing this sort of thing. And I've also seen on the other side of it where when the incarcerated person is moved from dorm to dorm or cell to cell, and then all of a sudden they're accused because in a vent somewhere close by them there's a knife, a makeshift knife, and then they're put into solitary. So there's all of these different angles going on, and I know that you've got gangs in the prisons. It's a problem. It's been a problem, but I think more so now, the incarcerated, and Debbie has said this several times, they are uniting, and it's more the guards versus the incarcerated now, because they're wising up. They're starting to see, like with the riot in Carolina, where 7 or more people, they died, they bled out, being stabbed, and that riot was a really, really bad one, and I think it was the worst that we've had in quite some time. Them setting people up so they can put them in solitary by hiding makeshift knives in the prisons, just like we have problems with guns and people get them in their hands, and a lot of times it's the politicians or the people with money or the police or just bad guys. Let's just say bad guys in general. They don't have to come from a group. Let's say bad guys in general are contributing to this, and you're supposed to be the person who is in charge, the person who is in charge of the people that are sent to be in prison as punishment. And I'm getting to this is what I'm getting to. I received an email from my son, and in his email, he responded to my question, tell me what is hurting you most while you're there. I wanted the answer to that from him. And he said, it hurts that I'm away from my family. This is why people are getting incarcerated, and their punishment is for this purpose, by the way. He gets taken from his family. He's not allowed to go out to eat when he wants to. He misses his little sister's first day of kindergarten. He missed different milestones in his little sister's life that he would have been at because they were close. And so he missed out on many recitals and those sorts of things that he couldn't attend. He wasn't allowed to be at the big 4th of July barbecue that we have every year. Not allowed to be with family at Christmas time. So he's missed out on a lot of things, and that hurts him more than anything that the guards could do to him. And he's had just about everything happen to him. He's had the hot water shower. He's had the spraying. He's had the beat down. He's been put in solitary many times for me making complaints. And he has been, the brunt of me making a stink about, okay, this is not right. This is wrong. You can't do this to people. My son's a human being. I'm not just going to sit back and do nothing. And with my son's permission, right. Mom, let the world know. I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. You let people know what they're doing to us in here. So based off of his response, he's telling me what hurts him the most, and there is nothing that those guards can do that can harm him as much as incarceration itself does, because he hurts for being away from his freedom, his family, his loved ones, a life, a job, having his own family. So that's what incarceration is supposed to be. But somewhere, man got confused thinking that they are supposed to abuse the incarcerated and then take advantage of someone who has no way to fight back because you've implemented fear and retaliation. That's where we are today. And that confusion needs to get corrected. In some way, some form, somehow, we have got to get the word out there that this is wrong, number one. Number two, not my son, not your daughter, not your husband, not your wife, not my loved one, or anyone else's. And that's, Debbie, your claim to fame for me is justice for all. You always say that. And we always say, we the people. We matter.
We are.
Punishment is happening to us because of what you're doing to our loved one in our face. And then you're implementing fear on me. Huh?
And liking it.
Yep.
It's
like liking it. I think
it's a nightmare gone bad.
Right. It's the Twilight Zone. They need to be tested for steroid use. A lady contacted me. And it's the same one that I got the audio from about the sergeant and the knife. And she was married to this gentleman who became a police officer for quite a few years. The police officers are handing out the steroid stuff like it's candy, and she's now divorced and she's afraid of him. So, in her telling me that, well, let's see, let's check some of these correction officers out. Maybe they're doing steroids and they're not in the right mind. They've, got the power now. Let's do something about it.
Right.
Eighth Amendment. I'm going to go back to that.
Eighth Amendment. Right.
Eighth Amendment. unusual punishment because it is not allowed in the U.S., it's not allowed anywhere else, and I just recently read, and I don't remember where I read this or heard this, but the United States is down. It is down. Our country has fallen down, and it's been written about. We are the worst country right now that it's crazy. United States
I read
is
that.
the worst one. The worst one. Now,
I saw a parade. There was a parade they held in Germany. And I don't know what the parade was for, but it looked like it was a parade to make fun of the United States based off of the two floats that I saw. The first float was Trump having anal sex with the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I saw that.
And on the very next float, it was Trump beheaded and the Statue of Liberty holding it. That speaks volumes. Now, somebody said, well, what's Germany ever done? Okay, that's not the topic right now. We're talking about another country clear across the ocean that's having a parade, and those are their two floats in their parade. What kind of a parade was that? And oh my God.
That's putting the U.S. down. That's exactly what that is.
I just am still in shock. And you can't tell me that was fake news because that was a live video from somebody. So, it was videoed.
I like to get back to the issue of medications, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I have this theory. Now, I could be wrong, but here's my theory. Back in the day, when the state of Florida took care of inmates, the state had to pay for their medicines and this and that and the other. That's where the $5 came in. Okay, I can understand that. But when you hire a company that's been paid billions of dollars to treat the inmates for medical, why do they still have to pay $5? Them people have already been paid for that.
I think those politicians are getting that money in some form or fashion. The government, the politicians, somebody's getting lined pockets.
Yeah, come on. Like all this, we got to cut the budget. Why you got to cut the budget? Think about it. You raise your prices. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're making money out of the canteen. So who's pocketing that money? Because the inmates sure are not getting it. And it's time, it's up. This is election year, people. Election year. You can get what you need.
I want to see some books. I want to see some books. That's what I'd like to see. I would like to see DOC release their annual bookkeeping for their budget from 2016-17.
Yeah, and we want the real books.
Right. I would love to see that.
There's two sets of books. One's done in pencil, one's done in pen. I ought to know because I worked for a company who did that. Seriously, I'm stupid? No, I want to see the one done in red pen because that's what it's supposed to be done in. I like to see the pencil one myself because what did you erase and what did you change? Because it's changing. You're all pocketing the money. Now, that's how you're going to hit people who don't care about inmates. Think about this. They care about where their tax money's spent. Okay, bring it out. Hey, out of your taxes, this percentage comes out to DOC. DOC's not doing what they're supposed to do with it. They have to raise your taxes. Ooh, now we're looking at a different story here. No, you're not raising my taxes. You're not raising my taxes for that. That's how this is all going to come out. Do the taxes. Do the taxes. Yep. Don't sit there and talk about, because when you say inmate, they deserve to be in there. Okay, let's talk about your taxes and how the senators and representatives
how it affects
and even
them.
Your governor is pocketing your money. How do you like that? Oh, I just want to be in front of Scott and say, how do you like me now? Because he's the one that has to be held accountable for all this stuff. He is the governor of the state of Florida. But he also made a remark that he does not do state prisons. Why not? You're a state governor. Because you don't have time. Well, guess what? You're going to have time now because it's all going to fall back on your head.
Well, that's why he's so opposed to the voters' privileges coming back to felons.
Oh,
it could affect him.
Let me tell you another little secret about Rick Scott. His daughter was in a college somewhere, and somebody slipped her something in her drink, and I don't remember the year. I do have the paperwork on it. But anyway, she was sent to the hospital. Now, he never worried about rape tests being, there were so many of them that were taken and never even looked at.
Right.
After this incident happened with his daughter, he went and donated so much money to make sure that when it happens, it gets tested right away. Now, he would have never done that had his daughter not been
affected.
Right.
Right.
That tells you what kind of governor he is. If he's not affected, he don't care.
Now, you remember that post that we saw and we kind of passed around, Debbie? It was it said, if you want to understand any problem in America, you need to focus on who profits from that problem, not who suffers from that problem. That is a key statement to thinking about where the money's going, whose pockets are being lined based off of our biggest issues. Who is profiting the most off of mass incarceration? Your people that are in there for stupid things that shouldn't be in there for. Heck, I think people that are in there for small amounts of marijuana, that they should be freed. They shouldn't have to wait for laws to be passed. And that's what I'm hearing now. They can't start releasing them until laws are passed because we're still in the process. Okay, come on. You guys are overflowing. You need to depopulate. There's your thing right there, the nonviolent, the small amounts of marijuana. There's just so many different incarcerated individuals that could be let go early on an early release based off of the fact that we're not even capable in Florida to maintain more than 85,000, and we're darn near at 100,000.
And it's going
so we really need to depopulate.
Right. And what do you think that this is all about? They want to depopulate, but they want to do it where it's going to be a big riot. I'm telling you. That's how they're going to get rid of it. I mean, come on. Nothing has changed in all these years. I mean, how long are we supposed to wait? Seriously,
right.
How long are we supposed to wait? Forever and a day? We don't have that in a day. You're sending people to jail for 15 years, 35 years, blah, 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 all mandatory stuff for stupid stuff. Really? And I have seen myself where people, I just saw it the other day, and I can't even remember what it was. Oh, the babysitter. There was a babysitter who actually, the child died, and she got a year in prison.
A year? Whose daughter was she?
I have no idea, and I don't remember where I read that, but it was just a couple of days ago or so I saw that, and I'm thinking to myself, a year? That baby died. A year?
The child didn't die of what did the babysitter kill them?
It was, some kind of brain. She took the child's head and bashed it against the wall. Yeah.
And she got a year.
And she got a year. She got a year. And the time that she had spent was she got time for that. So it's really actually going to be less than a year.
Wow.
Yeah. And you got people sitting in jail because they did something stupid and they got to sit there for 15 years. Didn't kill nobody.
And they got to be in jail with this violent offender that's only going to be there for a year. Oh, my God. Let me go off topic for a second and talk about something in Illinois. You know, I'm from the Midwest and born and raised in Illinois. I caught a video of a couple of police officers were harassing. I believe it happened in Chicago, but the kids were crossing the street and there was an unmarked car and the officer said something and there were words back and forth, and then the officer, you know, he's, you know, loaded down with his vest and his gun, and he's really talking crazy, and he's cussing at these teenagers that are walking down the street. And in that conversation, the officer literally says, you know, you are breaking the law. I didn't give you permission to record me. And, you know, he starts bumping up against him and say, oh, you're touching my toe. And just really, it's really, really ignorant. Let's just put it like that. The officer just made an ignorant ass of himself, complete ass. For whatever reason, I don't know, but the thing was the officer started lying, saying that they were breaking the law by videoing him without his permission. And in the state of Illinois, the law states that it is a constitutional right to even record the police. They just passed, in a case, I forget where it was, something just came down today where that in that state, wherever that is, it is totally and feasibly allowed for you to protect yourself if you are experiencing excessive force by a police officer. Now, where's that put you? Somebody's going to die. You see what I'm saying? If an officer thinks that they
tested, and I believe it, if these officers are so trigger happy and upset and so scared for their life,
right.
Test them for the steroids. Test them for the steroids. They shouldn't be on them.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing, but you're making a very good point.
It was just
because they're
a couple days ago.
There's their personalities and the similarities between the people who are the ones that end up taking lives in really flimsy situations where they claimed, I mean, there was an officer that pulled his gun on a group of kids not too long ago. That can't be fake news because you're looking at it off of somebody's cell phone. You know what I mean? So we understand the difference between real news and fake news. If it's on a cell phone, it's real news. And so you can't lie to me about what I see on somebody's cell phone. So I'm looking at another video, and it's an officer, and they're in the middle of taking down a woman to the ground. She's being more compliant than non-compliant. Let me just put it that way. She's confused. I don't know exactly why they were taking her down to the ground and handcuffing her, but they were being kind of rough with her, and she was just like, come on, what's going on type thing. And then at the same time, you have an officer with his gun drawn who just starts shooting, and then he literally goes into what I perceived as a panic attack. He literally is on that video having a panic attack after firing off like 4 rounds. And I'm just sitting there going, are you freaking kidding me? And his partner comes up and takes the gun out of his hand, and he says, you're okay, buddy. I know it's a scary situation. I've got you, buddy. I got your back. You're fine. Everything's good. And so his fellow officer sees him, on a meltdown. And the fellow officer is so helpful, so concerned about his fellow officer who is right now feeling like he's in a traumatic situation and he's out of control. Once the officer calms down, I kid you not, he is given his gun back immediately. What do you think of that?
Steroids. I'm on the steroid kick now.
You're on the steroids kick today.
Yep.
Also in the news, momsrising.org, they were live today. I don't know if you saw this, but they supporting races and Define Americans, something or other, in delivering $20 million check to DHS for free immigrant mothers in detention. That came across today. I don't know where that is, but it was momsrising.org. That might be something we want to look at and see what's going on with them, because they're giving $20 million to the immigrants. So I think that's a great thing, being that we were just talking about that. I wanted to make sure I put that out there. There was Rock Island. It's a new prison. You posted that, Debbie. Do you know much about that, or did you just share the post about the new television series that's coming out called Rock Island? At the top it says Rock Island, and then it shows a book.
Yeah, it's
Is that the book you read?
Inside the dark underbelly of Rikers Island. And it's going to.
Why does it say ROCKK?
I don't know.
That must be a slang term or something that they have. I'll have to look that up. But is that book good?
Yes, she's a retired female correction officer. Her name's Robin K. Miller. And she tells the whole story about the corruption at Rikers Island in New York City. Amazing book.
That's where that young man was put in for the backpack for 3 years.
Everything that she said in it is awesome, because everything she says is what we're going through. Every word. You hear me? From top to bottom. Yes.
So we need to promote that book. Who is it again, Debbie? Who's the writer?
Robin K. Miller.
Or author, I should say. Robin K.
Miller. And she is making, right now she's trying to do a mini-series. And then I just read yesterday, I think it could have been the day before, that she's actually going to make a movie out of this, or a TV show out of this. And I'm hoping it works for her, because I'm telling you what, it's real. It is real.
Inside the dark underbelly of Rikers Island. I see the name of the title of the book now. Okay.
Yeah. Now, if anybody would know, it would be a retired correction officer.
Absolutely. And like the one that was at the hearing, the second hearing about our Florida visitation schedule, which I haven't heard anything lately on that. I didn't know if you had, Debbie. But when we were at that second hearing, that correctional officer spoke, and she literally turned to the audience and she apologized to each and every person in the room. Do you remember her?
Yes.
Those are the people. We need more of them. You know, I was so grateful that she was there saying what she said. It kind of warmed my heart that there are people who really do care, who come from that. You need to see that sometimes, because you get that feeling like, oh my God, are they all bad? You know, and then we've talked about this, I'm concerned about these guards that are going down. Are these the guards that are playing along? Are they getting trumped up charges? You know, you know that's going on too. When it's just such a bad system. It just is. Because I know I had the coworker that worked at downtown Jacksonville at the county jail. And she was so excited, and I don't know if I've told this story on air or not, but she's my coworker, and she was leaving our company to go become a corrections officer at the county jail. And she went through the program and graduated. Graduation day was great. She wasn't even there a month. And she came back and said, "Can I have my job back? I quit." And we were like, oh my God, what? I didn't ask the questions then to want to understand. She told us that she quit because they tried to make her sign off on something. Somebody was beaten, and she wasn't having any part of it, and she quit right then. I mean, so the good people are quitting. Mm-hmm. They're not staying around.
Getting back to the guy who was put in confinement, who is now in protective management, he was put up against a wall, and he signed 2 papers that he really didn't want to sign, but he was forced into it.
What were the papers about?
I don't know. I don't have the info on that yet.
He was forced to sign 2 documents with his back against the wall. This is the one with the recordings.
No, this is the other one.
Okay.
This is the other one at Martin.
Is this with the sheet metal on the window?
So his mother told him, do not sign anything else, and if they force you to sign something, sign it and put, I can't remember what she called it. Whatever it was, it meant that I'm signing this, but it's against my will.
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember the name she used.
We need to find out what that is so we can put that out there. There are some things we need to put out there that need to be out in the open, and that needs to be one of them. If incarcerated people are forced to sign a document against their will, they need to have a special way of signing that is also declaring, I'm signing this against my will.
Okay, I just got a text. Appalachia CI left this gentleman enclosed for 8 days straight. Made him wear same clothes on bus to get transferred. He had heat stroke right before they got on the bus and was taken to medical for treatment. His clothes stunk so bad that it was making him puke. He was sweating so bad, the heat exhaustion causing him to have a heat stroke. He was dehydrated in ACI confinement, and as soon as he got on the bus, he had a heat stroke and passed out. And the inmates were taking care of him on the bus. Inmates were telling the bus driver, man down, man down. Bus driver wouldn't do anything about it until they got to the next facility, medical place. He was unconscious during the bus trip to the next facility. This is the woman who sent me the audio of the sergeant trying to hire somebody to kill an inmate.
And the potsters. I just got a text. This is awesome right here. Every black male aged 35 and under should get $1 million life insurance policy. Insurance companies would fight for us because they will be tired of paying out $1 million constantly to our families. And then they put hashtag got to hurt them economically. And this originated from a Ricky Smiley. Oh, he's a radio guy. That's a radio guy.
Oh.
That's a good point.
Think about it. Erica, are you still there?
I'm listening.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Do you have anything to add to what we're talking about? We just shoot the breeze, as you can tell.
Yeah,
we're not any rhyme or reason.
No, I'm just ready to take some action. I'm sitting here saying, when are these people going to ever be held accountable for their bull? Yeah, I'm just like, something needs to be done. I'm ready to take some action.
Laws need to be changed. Laws protect them. That's the main thing. Just like with the video surveillance of my son when he got beat down. You can't retrieve any of these video surveillance. His own attorney asked for them to preserve it for a later date, but you can about guarantee they erased that video. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's going. That's been going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So getting video from the prison itself, we need to have an outside entity, just like Citizens Bureau is an outside. We need an outside video surveillance entity that maintains the camera footage inside there because they have too many laws protecting them from what needs to be monitored. And we need an outside entity that is, just like when you have a game, you have, what are they called? The referees. You need mediators. You need referees. You need non-biased people that are an outside. You can't have that same IG that is over DOC or DOJ doing the only investigations here because they're investigating themselves. They're a part of that entity. Each of those entities have their own IG. IG is not the highest level that you go to because IG is still in that organization. So beyond there, they say you go to your state representatives and that sort of thing. And then you get into the political part of it. And it's just so convoluted.
And nothing ever gets done. Yeah, nothing ever gets done anyway.
Yeah, I'm not understanding it. It's just like, okay, y'all see all this type of stuff. Y'all see all this stuff that's going on. Y'all know this, just like with the contraband, for instance. What is happening to these officers? Y'all want to put all this contraband off on us, but what happens to these officers when they're caught with all this contraband? Are they getting felons? It's just mind-boggling. It's mind-blowing, and it's something that's got to be done. That's just my standpoint on things. Something has to be done. And I'm ready to do it. I want to do whatever it takes. That has to be done.
She's ready.
Oh, yeah. I stay ready. I stay ready, because there's nothing, like I tell them all the time, I'm not a puppet. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to enforce the laws that y'all made, and I'm going to enforce my First Amendment. You understand what I'm saying? And
I do.
Something needs to be done. Abolish the prison system.
There you go.
Abolish it.
Yeah, we need mental health facilities. That's what we need. Because if somebody does a deviant act that needs to be incarcerated, number one, they need medical help, because if you're that deviant, there's got to be an order to how you are handled and incarcerated, and it can't be treated like an animal. I don't care what your illness is. If you murder somebody, if you harm someone, if you're violent, if you are just somebody who is murderous, to me, speaking as a Christian, I don't know about all Christians, me and my faith, I believe that the devil's got into them, and what is it in the Bible? The Bible talks about the disciple asked Jesus something along the lines, why couldn't we get that demon out of that individual? And Jesus replied something to the effect in that Bible story that some demons, the only way you can cast them out is through fasting and prayer. And so to me, that's what you're dealing with. And if fasting and prayer isn't working, you need Jesus himself to come. But long story short, at the end of the day, nobody should be treated inhumanely.
That's right.
If they are incarcerated for a reason, and that incarceration hurts them. There is nothing that the prison system can do to them that can hurt them more than the fact that they are incarcerated. The incarceration itself is a punishment that is unimaginably painful. That's the way I understand it from my son. I do believe wholeheartedly that those who are in need of medical care that are incarcerated for whatever reason should be in a facility that is medically related. They've changed the names of prisons, and they're calling them institutions. Okay, if they're institutions, where's Daniel, or where's Pace, or whatever the name of where's the health department? Where are the people that are supposed to, the behavioral government-run facilities that should be partnering with the state-run agencies if they're not the privately owned, which we only have, 6, I think, in the state of Florida, but we still have some. But whoever should be in position to maintain the daily care of these individuals, that is what needs to be done. That's how we need to care for them. You don't want to throw somebody who's nonviolent in there for, I don't know, a pound of weed or 3 pounds of weed or whatever can get you in prison where marijuana is concerned, who did not commit anything other than having marijuana, and it was nonviolent. Why are you putting them in there with this person who murdered 3 people? Or this person who is in there for sexual abuse, and this is a young 16-year-old kid that's been charged as an adult. You've got all this craziness and too many scenarios going on. Man has screwed it up so badly. That's why I say I think we're in biblical times. It has to be. It is so bad. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel for this. I just don't. It's too bad.
Yes. Well, the Bible must be fulfilled. It has to be fulfilled.
Man made it. Woman's going to clean it up.
That's right. That's right.
And what did you say about that, Erica? I heard you say something.
I say the Bible has to be fulfilled as well, though. But
You said, yeah, you're right.
It must be fulfilled. It is being fulfilled. But at the same time, we just got to keep pushing and, don't back down. Because like I told DOC, I'm going to wear you out before you wear me out.
There you go.
That's my motto. You're not going to wear me out. I'm going to wear you out before you wear me out. And I mean that. So if I don't care,
CBI is on it.
I know. Yeah.
CBI is going to take you down.
Yes, hunting, because this is pathetic. This is, my heart just go out to all of them. And I don't know if y'all heard in the state of Florida that they just passed a law like 2 weeks ago for those children if they're, get caught bullying, and if they get convicted of bullying, it's 15 years in prison, 15 years probation, and a $10,000 fine. Do you see?
Say what? Whoa. Oh my God.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming out of the classroom, baby. If you get caught bullying and you get convicted of it, it is 15 years in prison, 15 years probation, and a $10,000 fine. State of Florida passed that law, so you know what the system is. These prisons is fit to be filled up with a bunch of kids, a bunch of children.
Right. Instead of saying, "Oh, there might be a problem here. Let's get them mental help. Let's find out what's going on in the home. Let's find out this. Let's find out that."
They're locking them up.
Away. Yeah, just throw them away. They're useless. Really?
Yeah, because kids aren't going to comprehend that being a bully could get them 15 years of their life taken from them. A child can't comprehend that.
Where do bullies?
Let me tell you something.
When you have a bullier, answer this. When you have a bullier, where do they learn that?
At home.
How do you learn to be a bully? Think about it.
And sometimes you have to defend yourself in the school.
Yes.
Oh,
you know, in the school.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of stuff, peer pressure, It stems in the school. Everything does not come from home. Like, that's why I tell, people about my son. I was the PTA mom. He was involved with everything. He went to private school. He did all this. I was the mom. He raised in the home with both of the parents. I was that mom. I was the mom. He went to football. He was in all these activities. So I don't want to hear that junk about, it started at home. No. When he got out, he slept with the wrong person, and boom, within a week he befriended somebody, and boom, they set him up, and then that's what happens. And then he's out doing what he want to do. That's right. So, with that statement, that's why I have to fight, and that's why my county as well does not say as much. But here in my county, these people don't care here in Polk County. You have my son, these children are housed in the jail. Okay, when my son first went in, he was at the age of 14. His roommates were 6 years old. There's no detention center here. They go to jail here in Polk County. This is why I put up a fight. They are in jail. The children you go see your loved one now, the children are in jail. JAIL 2390 Bob Phillips Road, Bartow, Florida. That's where they're housed at.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Now tell me what type of rehabilitation is that? And one of my students, I was talking to him last year. I told him, I say, son, I was talking to him. I say, do you know that, they'll, about the yellow jumpsuit. I say, you can't keep acting like this because, they'll put a label on you and stuff. And, I tried to use the scare tactic with him. He said, Miss Otter, I said, yes. He said, I already had on the yellow jumpsuit. He said, I already been in jail. I said, so he's 7 in the 2nd grade. What they care? Don't get me started.
Oh, my God.
7 years old.
Steroids. I'm telling you. And the evilness in this world's got to go.
It's a lot of work that's got to be done. But until people come together, because I don't care, everybody in this world has somebody that's incarcerated. I don't care what they say. Everybody. So I don't even sit here and sit while I don't understand why people just sit down and don't do anything and don't say anything. You know why? Because they don't think they can happen to their kids.
Oh, it's going to happen. Look what's happening now. What you just talked about. Seriously, the way the rate is going, everybody is going to have somebody in jail or prison.
Okay, because they're going to eat them up.
Right, and it's going to affect your community because they're not getting any rehabilitation, and when they get out, they're going to do the same thing, and they're back into prison, and boom, 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 and it keeps going and going and going. Stop.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And
Let me tell you about my, Debbie, I did that. I submitted for the fellowship. And in that fellowship, I was receiving, prison stories. So this one individual, oh, my God, I wrote about, and it just really grabbed me so deeply in my soul that it sliced me to know about this man's life. He was a NHL, which is hockey. He was on his way to big things, and he had scholarships and doing so good in school and things that just, excuse me, that's my dog. There's so many things that are out there that can get you off track. And this individual was 18 years old and suffered an injury that they gave him an opioid at the age of 18. Now, that's a narcotic. And they have all these levels now. And an opioid, we all know what that is. We know the crisis that's going on out there right now. It's all over the news. This young man is now 34, and he's on his 4th stint in prison because he became an addict. They do not let an 18-year-old purchase liquor. Why is somebody prescribing him an opioid for pain, number one, with an injury? Number two, why didn't he get help? Why, the first time he was caught stealing at Walmart, and in the state of Florida, it's still $300 or $350 as a felony. That means prison, where most states are at $3,000 or $2,500 as a felony. So if you're following me, we've got an 18-year-old kid given a steroid. He gets addicted, kind of the Michael Jackson effect, like when his hair burnt on the Pepsi commercial. So now he's wanting these pain pills, and then he starts stealing because he doesn't have money to get what he wants, and his 4th trip to prison, age 34 now, stealing at Walmart each time he's gone to prison. Is that insane?
That is
They
insane.
ruined that man's life.
Right.
That doctor ruined his life at 18. And they just keep sending him to prison over little theft. Theft. Walmart is not huge theft. I'm sorry. You can't tell me that he was walking out with every TV that was for sale up in there. He wasn't caught with a gun holding them up. He was caught stealing. It's a nonviolent crime, and he's on his 4th stint in prison, and I don't know what he does every 18 months or something like that. But Jesus, we can do better than that.
Right, and they get
Where's the help for him?
Right, they get the pills from the pill mills, and you got the pharmaceutical people supplying the pill mills, and everybody's pocketing money. That's why we have it. I know with my son, he literally was working in a back of a dump truck tailgate, fell on his head. He was operated on, and he had a metal plate put in his neck. When I picked him up from the hospital, he had morphine. I didn't pay attention to it. I would find him passed out on the toilet. And then I looked at his pills, and he has, no lie, 900 morphine pills. Who in the hell needs 900 morphine pills. Okay, now my son's starting to crush up pills and stick them up his nose and decides to do a burglary. Come on. 15 years. Now, after he does the 15 years, he goes back to the Marion County Jail. He sits there until a bed's open, and he does 2 years of drug rehab. Really? Really? What's up with that?
Just wow.
What's up with that?
What can you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, the prosecutors, judges, everybody's making money. And if you hit them in the pocket, that's when it'll end.
Let's talk about the flyer that we've been posting and sharing and trying to get the word out. Hashtag no talking. When we're talking about arrests and young people, people of any age really need to know their rights. And the flyer itself, hashtag no talking, hashtag remain silent, hashtag get my lawyer, hashtag no waivers, hashtag speedy trial, hashtag no plea. We've got to get that information out there to people because it can shut them down. If you know your rights and you follow this, you've got 6 things you need to follow, and we will break them before they break us anymore. And we talked about this, Debbie. This can shut the entire judicial system down. If every single person from today forward follows this, no talking, remain silent, get my lawyer, no waivers, speedy trial, no plea deal. That's it. That's all. Period. End of story. And then it won't matter how much money you don't have because they cannot maintain what they now have if everyone follows that. Do not ever waive your right to a speedy trial. Do not let them put fear on you that you're going to go to the death penalty or life in prison if you don't take a 80-year plea or a 40-year plea or a 30-year plea. You have the right for your day in court, and you do not have to waive your right to a speedy trial. If every person arrested from today forward did not waive their speedy trial, we can shut it completely down. They would have no choice but to do a complete overhaul. Complete. Now, can we get the word out? Can we spread that? It's a red, white, and blue flyer. If you see it out there, it's on Moms. That's a open web page. You don't have to join. It's on Facebook. It's public. Debbie, what's yours? Debbie, yours is Mom CBI?
Yes.
Okay.
CBI. And then my website is Debbie Sapp at uscbi.org. Debbie's going to be making flyers soon, and Debbie's going to be on the streets handing out flyers in front of the courthouse and public defender's office, wherever I have to go. It really doesn't matter. And if nobody has watched this, it's on Netflix. It is called Surviving Prison. Look at it. Watch it. It's amazing. It will teach you a lot of stuff. It teaches you a lot of stuff. And if we can help these people going into a courthouse not to go what we went through, we'll shut them down.
Shut them down.
We're going to shut them down.
Did anybody see the Statue of Liberty climber? Did anybody follow that? I love her story. Loved it.
I didn't see it, so I can't.
You didn't see it? Did you hear about it at least?
See it? Erica, did you see it or hear about it?
No, I heard about it.
Let me tell you about this woman. This woman climbed up the Statue of Liberty. People know that, but people did not really get to see her speak. I saw her speak, and this woman captivated me. She spoke with a thick accent, She acknowledged being an immigrant who is now a U.S. citizen, and she was following the path based off of those words of Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go higher. And she says, Michelle, I tried to go as high as I could go. Her purpose for that climb was in solidarity for the immigrants that are coming in now that we were talking about earlier, the children. She's upset. That was her purpose. I thought it was amazing. I mean, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. I'll make sure that I share that interview with her attorney. It was on ABC, and I'll make sure it's on Mom's page, Mom, MOM equals Moms on a Mission. It is that open Facebook page that is public that you can see a lot of information that gets posted that we feel is real news. We try to avoid the fake news at all possible, and we definitely try to keep away from the drama. We just share what we see. It's just getting news out there. Did you see the anti-violence protesters marching? They closed down the Dan Ryan. That is a huge expressway. I forget how many lanes, like 10 lanes in Chicago, and they closed down the entire I forget which direction it was going, but they shut down the Dan Ryan on Saturday, and they had their anti-violence protester march, and they were marching because they wanted to have a huge anti-violence protest. And from what I understand, they worked with the police. That is the huge thing here. They got together and they did it the right way, and it was done in a united way. That what, Debbie, you always preach on, we've got to unite. You know, all this infighting with different groups that have the same goal at the end of the day is just ignorant. There's no place for that here. So what these people did, I was extremely impressed. Number one, they closed down the Dan Ryan, being that I've been on that sucker, and it is no joke. So for that's a huge thing. I'll make sure that's on Moms on a Mission too. But for them to be working with the state police, that's huge to me, especially Chicago.
I don't personally watch the news, and I don't, and I'll be the first to admit it, I do not watch it. I don't have time to watch it. I am busy, people, busy. Eric will tell you how busy I am. It's crazy.
Yes.
But we're getting there. We're getting there. Trust and believe.
Yes, I think we need to be trying to do a talk show.
Well, let's head over to the mold issue that happened in Miami. Did you see that one? Did you hear about that one?
What's that?
Yes.
Yeah, Miami, one of the federal prisons in Miami, they got hit with mold and safety violations.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's probably not just in Miami.
Right, and that's just federal. What about the state? There's so much mold in the state prisons. There's MRSA going around. There's this going around. And does anybody try to do anything there? No, because our governor's too busy. But you're in a federal prison, you get help. Bull crap.
Right. Well, I'm going to end this, close it and wrap it up. You know, we've kind of talked about everything that's out there. We've gone on our little rants and we've discussed some things. I just want to leave people with something to think about before we go. And we appreciate anybody who listens, but you got to remember, we're dealing with man-run systems. And so these systematic systems that are designed right now, they are not working, and there needs to be change. And so really that's what we're about. We're about change. We're about, fighting for justice for all. We the people. Yes. The incarcerated people are the oppressed people of this time, these biblical times that I believe that we're in. And Mom was formed, based off of the fact that, hey, we're moms. Our kids are taken from us and they are in prison. And for whatever reason, guilty or innocent, no one deserves to be treated like an animal. I don't care what the crime was. I don't care who the individual is. No one deserves to be treated like an animal. They are human beings.
That's
Every
right.
single person that is incarcerated in this world is a human being, and I have empathy for them as another human being. I don't want them treated poorly. I don't care what they did, guilty or innocent. And so I always talk about my mission is simple. I am about my Father's business. And I say this often to Debbie, you know, when I get going on something, if I'm about my Father's business, I go off on a tangent. And so with ending this, thank you, Erica, for joining us and participating in our conversation and contributing. This is, I think, our fourth little segment that we've done. We're just trying to put information out there. We're not professional radio people. We are your average Joe. You know, I work for a living. You know, I'm a mom. I have a family.
Me too.
And I also have an incarcerated son. And Debbie,
Me too.
Same thing. CBI, uscbi.org, flcbi.org, Debbie's websites for Citizens Bureau of Investigations. You can submit any complaint that you have. You can keep it anonymously. CBI will, on your behalf, send off the IG so that IG will start investigating whatever needs to be investigated, or we will help you with resources. Debbie does nonstop work. She doesn't have an 8 to 5. She has a 24/7.
Yes, most definitely.
Sorry, Debbie. And again, her email is...
I was on the phone with Erica Saturday night at midnight, wasn't it, Erica?
I know I was going off right.
You're going off?
She was going off.
She knows.
I was trying to calm her down and like, here, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do this. And CBI's been helping you out, haven't they, Erica?
Yeah, because, honey, she know that I'll be going straight to the chain gang.
Oh, I know that's right. We've got to remember, Dawn. Thank you so much, Dawn, Behind the Walls, for giving us a platform with Urban Talks. We ask you to go subscribe on YouTube, Urban Talks. Subscribe, like, share. We need to get the information out there. Dawn Behind the Walls has given us this opportunity. We need to take it. We love you, Dawn. Debbie, did you have anything else you want to add?
Don't forget to leave comments, people. We need them.
So, Dawn Behind the Walls. All right, y'all make sure I will most definitely be tuning in next time.
All right, Erica, thank you. You can call in anytime. We loved having you. And,
most definitely.
And
keep your inmates in your prayers. Keep the incarcerated in your prayers.
All right, thank you.
If you need anything, please contact me.
I will, every day.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Come work for me.
I need a job, an extra one.
Touchy little bitch. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. 10 to 2. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. 10 to 2. I had to grind all night. Remember those nights. Sit up on the app. Better pocket full of slab. Had to get it fast. I know how to be like you. Gotta represent the real shit. Yeah, I live a G life. To the haters. Middle finger to the fakers. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. 10 toes. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. 10 toes. Just trying to eat, post it up with the heat, any nigga try to reach, him out like bleach, Well, you think this shit's a game, bang, this shit is a game, and a lot of lames got expired in these streets. I try to promote you, I'm real OG, real be the OG. Side of my people, all my homies that get the 100. Little finger till you hate up, little finger till you fake up. Try to see me dead or in jail, I can feel it in your vibe. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. 10 toes. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. I had to get it from the muscle. 10 toes. 10 toes on the concrete. And I'm right, bitch, I gotta eat. Fuck, I look like starving. Dance on and I'm robbing. Money kicking in through the front door. If you owe me, try to play me like a fucking hoe. Got me fucked up, homie. You got this shit fucked up. Right along with my teeth up. Act up, get your face buzzed. Real shit though.